So for people who can't see, we're just surrounded by 5 awesome pieces of equipment, some of whom I cannot even recognise on my right.
Yeah.
And then this huge setup at the front here with monitors.
Yeah, that's the drum section over there.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's this section here then?
Oh, that's my visual section, so I can
Yeah.
see what all these things are doing.
Yeah.
And then the keyboard stuff, which sort of generate the melodies and the bass lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Are over here on the side.
Yeah.
And of course it's all sort of put together using the computer.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties it all, really. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without those things. So
Yeah, your computers.
yeah. So I guess when I'm writing a track, or when we're writing a track, you start with a drum loop, sort of, and a groove.
Yeah.
And then we usually add a bass line.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sort of where it starts, and
Yeah.
sort of then you kind of work from there.
Yeah.
And we usually work in a small loop, maybe like, 5 or 6 bars, and just keep looping it, and
Yeah.
then trying to sort of get the story together in that small space.
Yeah. Do you think of something when you're doing these things?
Just what sounds good, really.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
kind of imagine yourself like on the dance floor, or you don't really have to imagine it because you
Yeah.
can hear what it would sound like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of strange, doing this for a job where you come in on a Monday morning and you've got to sort of transport yourself to a hot,
After a hard
sticky-
weekend.
Yeah. Tell you what, it doesn't work on that one of those days. But yeah. Yes, the last thing you want to do is make music after a hard weekend. So luckily there's less and less of those hard weekends, and you can actually do something on a Monday.
Yeah, that's cool. And so you've got here, if you want to just sort of take us through a little bit.
Yeah. So as I said, you start with your bass. Oh yeah, that's filtered right out. It'll come in now. So you start with your kick, and then a vocal perhaps.
Yeah, yeah.
A hat. And shakers, and your various sort of sound effects and stuff. You just sort of start building on that, and then we'll come over this way a bit further because that's when I bring the bass line in. So you'll hear that. So take that out.
Nice.
So there's the bass.
Yeah.
So the bass is the Moog
Yep.
and the Juno.
Yeah.
And you can hear it, see how it's kind of got that grainy, gritty sort of sound.
Yeah.
It's all analog, so it's not a digital.
Yeah.
It's not made in the computer. It's actually coming straight from the machine, so it's a really rich sound.
Yeah, completely. Which a lot of your music is, and it's always just the most awesome thing to listen to. And you seem to be quite inspired by nature. I don't know if it's just me when I listen to it, but you'll hear waves, or you'll hear birds, or something that will just come in through the music. And
we kind of use a lot of field recordings in our music as well.
Yeah.
I sort of think it brings so much more personality and feeling to the music. Some music's like dance music especially can be quite dry, and I don't know. I don't even like to think that I'm making dance music. I just sort of like to think it's music, and then you can dance to it as well. Because a lot of people say that they just like to listen to it without even dancing, and car trips or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it's sort of that's how we approach it, and it's sort of what turns us on.
Yeah.
So because we're only making music that excites us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lucky enough, it excites other people as well.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit of a bummer if no one else found it exciting. Some of the first tracks that we ever made, one of them I had a recording of my daughter.
Yeah.
When she was like a little, tiny little thing.
Oh, cool.
I think she was like 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit bigger. And she just got this new rabbit. And I was recording her. She was telling me about her rabbit.
Yeah.
and I stuck that in a track, and it seriously just pulled the track. And
Yeah.
just it finished it off. You know, it was like this gave it this little sweet little girl's voice in the middle of this sort of. Back then, it was kind of quite a lot darker. The sound.
Yeah.
Which really softened it up.
Yeah. And she's been immortalised in a track.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, she has.
That's awesome.
I should remind her of that. She's probably forgotten. You've been immortalised. You know, she should be thanking me.
She should be thanking
Yeah.
me. So what do you do? What are you thinking about the entertain me concept? Like how?
I think it's
What are your thoughts
cool.
on that?
I think it's really good. Like, you know, from what you've told me and the concept behind it, I think it could be a really handy tool for people.
Yeah.
And you know, because you guys are experts in the social networking, which is what we use a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's quite, to be honest, for us to do that, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot of work.
for someone else to do it, and you know, do a good job of it, I
Yeah.
think it's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like having an agent or a manager or someone like that. You know, like a lot of the big bands have that.
Yeah.
They have some dude that just is their Facebook operator,
Yeah.
which you know, it's like that would be cool.
Yeah. I know, it's interesting actually because all of a sudden we're doing for our job what we do for our hobbies.
Yeah.
So it's sort of probably like you
Yeah.
started, right? You start off doing something that you really love, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I'm doing this full time now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Yeah.
really cool, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome to work with you guys.
Yeah.
And like
I'm
everyone
looking
else
forward to
in town. So it's be great.